Welcome everyone to the Jankyard. I'm your host with the mostest treatment, and with me I have Killer Cactus, the long lost brother of Ashes. He's been away for so long, and we're here where the talking points are made up and the hosts don't matter. Uh, we don't really have a great plan tonight, but we're just here to have some fun, maybe review a game, and yeah, shoot the skack.
Good stuff. How's it going, man?
Life has been pretty good. Been doing a lot of the collection streams. Covered three of
I
them
saw those.
today.
I've been watching them.
The matches
Been
have
a
been
watching.
excellent. They've been incredible. This collection has been really cool. I'm hoping that even more people, like with Carl's plan for doing it earlier in the year and having a lower barrier to entry, that there's going to be even more people next. Well, I guess this 2026 year. So that'll be a lot of fun, and then also looking forward to Jankfest, which is on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, get
Cannot wait for Jankfest.
I still have to make my deck. I know I would normally have an idea or two already done, but I've just been so busy with other things. But I've got the seed of an idea.
Oh,
Uh,
you still need to make a deck. You gotta get on that, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. Normally I've been
Yeah,
used.
my deck is very, very unplayable, but it's funny, and that's all that matters.
Unplayable.
I think
Like
I
you don't
actually
even have
could
the
play a
dice for it.
game.
What do you mean unplayable?
Well, yeah, I mean I have there's many cards in my deck that can't be played because I don't have the dice, but I do think like the deck could somewhat function.
Okay.
Like if I was forced to play a game, I could do it, right? Um, but I probably shouldn't. Like I'm not gonna win said game against a deck that's somewhat functionable.
Well, I
But
mean,
that doesn't matter because it's
that's
Jankfest,
yeah, that's not the point of Jankfest. The whole thing is just
right?
to have fun. Um,
Agreed.
all right.
Oh,
So,
dog is here.
who is?
Uno, are you gonna be on the stream?
Oh, your dog. Yeah, and Mistreatment
Yeah,
wanted
he's
to
here.
let us know that she's first in chat. So there you go.
Here we go. I was
Um,
gonna have it open, but it's like on a delay for me, so I don't have it open now.
yeah, no, that's fine.
I just loaded the
I'm
replay myself, and I can step through it as you do if we want to talk through a replayed game.
I'm losing just all kinds of my setup trying to reestablish what we haven't done this in a long time, covering like a game together. So a lot of what I had is just not there. I don't know where it is, but anyway, yeah. So you played recently. You're back in Phoenix League. Phoenix
Yeah,
League is
I played a Phoenix League game. My
yeah,
my first Phoenix League game in almost a year, probably.
which is awesome.
It is. I'm hyped to be back in.
And
Force myself to play some matches.
how'd it go?
It went very well. Very I won't spoil the outcome, although people that have read the Discord have seen it. But um, very fun game. I played Chaos Theory. We both had decks we were using for the first time, so it was I think a good matchup for me, and probably not a great one for him. But still a fun game with some cool decision points and some cool plays to talk him through.
Well, I'm excited. What I guess this could be potentially. I mean, it's a little different because you're such an experienced player and an experienced card player in general. But it would be interesting to get your take on like having been out of the loop for so long, what you look at coming back in, like how you assess things, that type of deal.
Yeah, and it's weird because oh no, shush. My dog's mad. I might have to let him out in a second. Um, I'm like out of the loop in a sense that I haven't played a lot, but I'm still following things, right? Like I'm still looking at the cards. Obviously, we've had podcasts and shows where we've reviewed all the time cards. I've talked about them. I know them all. I've watched a bunch of games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still like here and like present, right? And understand a lot about like the meta and what's happening. But that's not the same as playing games. And it's even though there weren't a whole lot of, I mean, we'll when we get this game up, you'll see there's not a whole lot of new cards that got played in this game, but there was a lot of banging the rust off. I think of both Chaos Theory and myself, because I don't think he's played a ton either.
Yeah, no, he was
So this
big
was
into SWU for
interesting.
the longest time. So I think he's a little, you could say, rusty.
Yeah, I think he and I are fairly similar skill level players usually in like other games we've had against each other. Like we go back and forth. Um, so it was interesting, right? Two of us, both of us having not played a lot, like jumping back into a quote unquote competitive game, but still with decks that we've not practiced or play tested at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you want to jump in that right away? Like, we don't know if
Sure.
Shmeni's gonna show up, so could pop that
Yeah, he might
over.
join us in a little bit once he gets his kids to bed. But yeah, we can go through or looking at this one. Let me let the dog out real quick so that he stops barking into my microphone.
Sure, sure. I'm messing with
We
the
can do that.
the whole layout of this anyway. Yeah. Let me get that figured out. I don't know why it's not doing what I want it to do. Sometimes OBS is incredibly frustrating. It's just the way it is. I had it like at one point I had a perfect setup, and now it is not.
Really need
Hello,
to
Carl.
learn. I
All
really
right.
need to learn OBS in general.
Yeah.
I
For
can
me, it's
do
like just the
better playbook.
shortcuts and the stuff, and then I did an
Yeah.
update, and at one point, one of the plugins I used stopped working, so that was annoying. You sort of set it and hope it'll just work, but alas. All right, let's pop over to the game. And oh, Dura's in the house too. Carl's here. Look at that. We've got everyone excited to see this Killer Cactus game
Yeah.
and what you have
Yeah,
to
a
say
bunch of
about
people here to watch a mediocre Phoenix League game.
it.
Um, but hey,
I,
that's okay.
I think I have everything
It's
set sensibly.
okay.
I could probably do a
So
little
are we
zoom.
like? Do you have? Remember, I can't see it. So do you have the game up?
Oh, you don't even have you're not gonna have it on your thing?
I mean, I can open the stream, but it's like delayed.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Oh,
So
you disappeared.
I don't want to watch it because if I'm watching from there, I'm going to be talking about stuff that happened, in the past.
Okay. Well, yeah. OBS is being weird with your like you keep getting cut out. I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Every time I go to a different tab, you're gone. Your face is just gone.
Out of here.
Just yet. Does not want to see you. Dura says he saw most of it on his lunch break, so now he's
Yeah,
very
I do think
curious.
he jumped in at some point and watched.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna have to deal with this and move forward.
I'll
Hopefully,
try one more time to open the stream and see if I can get it without like the delay.
oh yeah. Well, no matter what, there's gonna be a delay. I think it's just a delay in the way that the stream actually like render. Like it's not. It's just something
Yeah,
that happens. Yeah, you keep disappearing. Your face just gone. Does not want to be there. All right. Whatever.
I don't know.
It's every time I switch out of Discord. That's what it is. All right. So
Okay.
Chaos Theory is on Fiona. It's a 3-time 3 sympathy 4 divine split, and you're on Leo, who we all know that Alfred says is terrible. 2 sympathy, 5 divine, 3 ceremonial. So at first glance, like let's just talk through even what you do when you first sit down and you're like, oh, this is what they're playing and this is what their dice spread is. Like, what do you think?
Right. So, I mean, I'm looking at this. I expect obviously Metamorpher, right, in round one. Probably two of them because we'll have a way to use Fiona's ability.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's on Sympathy, so there's a lot. He could be playing Alchemist to draw cards. He could be playing Diver. Um, could like stuff like that. I'm sure he's gonna have a way to draw cards and get Ingenuity off. I'm probably expecting a Sonic Swordsman in these colors.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I wasn't really sure what I was gonna see. I
Okay.
just figured, all right, I'm gonna see Caterpillars. He's gonna draw cards, and I'm gonna have to deal with a Sonic.
Makes sense.
So from my standpoint, when I built this this is a burn deck, right? When I built this, I just kind of jammed a bunch of burn cards in here and tried to round it out with a Divine Shell that could support the burn and help me. I think Divine is really good at. It's a good supplement to burn in that it has cards like Lightbringer that can create opportunities to splash in a bunch of damage, but also has stuff like Meteor and Law of Fear that can be a bit of a panic button when the burn deck loses the board.
Right.
And this is all the theory that goes back to, way back to like JK 007, like Brennan stuff that he used to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his was all about that, like the Widows combo, right? Being able to play Lightbringer and then play Widows and swing and cash in for a ton.
Yeah. So here, like, again, I mean, obviously Fiona's got 15 life, right? I could first 5 Anguish and probably just knock it down to 11 in round 1. Thought about that. But I figured if I played Anguish and he really went battlefield heavy with like Sonic and stuff, then I would have a tough time. Well, let me let the dog in. He's yelling at me now, and then I'll be done with the dog stuff.
All right. Yeah. While Killer is busy with the dog, I think a lot of the same things. I'm probably much less, I don't know, calculating than other players. Like, I sort of guess what they might, one or two cards that they might have. You can sort of guess with a Phoenix Born what some of their pet cards are, and certain gotchas that might be a serious concern. So if you're facing Ceremonial, you got to worry about Fester if you're planning to play a Knight. If you're playing something like Aerodel or Odette, and you're facing against Time or Illusion, you might have to worry about Fate Reflection. Similarly, if you know that you're running 2 life units and you see a bunch of nature, you probably have to worry about Ice Trap. But I don't usually try and guess all their 5 cards right away. I just kind of wonder maybe 2 or 3 of what to expect and how to shift my flex 5. I'm not as.
I think that's a good strategy.
Yeah, I'm not as hardcore like Matt or Fred, who will just completely, like, they'll change their entire first 5 just based off of what they think. Like, they could be running a classic 3 book and then they're like, actually, I'm gonna run 3 removal cards and only 2 units and still manage to come out on top. Like, I just can't do that.
Right. It's tough to. Matt and Fred, like, those 2 guys really are very top notch at tailoring first 5s to beat other people. Matt specifically, I feel like he's got like the sixth sense of he knows what you're gonna open, and then he's like really good at opening the perfect counter to it. But I'm with you. I don't really like to do that. I try and play my plan A more often than not with maybe a flex or 2.
Yeah. Because I think you can definitely go to, like, you can put yourself off of your plan, which is never where you want to be, trying to outthink or to counter the other player. And so that's why, at least, I don't know if this was one of our pieces of advice, but I think in general, when you're starting out, plan almost like a fixed first four, and then you have that usual one die that you can change to some sort of removal option.
Yeah.
And just stick with that for a while. Like, don't try and change a bunch of cards. Like, if you're on a 3 book plus a night plan, just stick with that and play a ton of games and find out which matchups that doesn't work and then adjust from there. But don't try and change it after like one game. Carl's saying
Yeah,
Matt
I
is
think
the best at first fiving and not letting him get behind later. Yeah, I
agreed.
I don't know how Matt plays such low density units in a deck, as well as in particular in his first five, and he still comes out on top. It's wild. Nevertheless, let's get to this game. So here we go. So you chose to go first. Anything you want to say about choosing to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a burn deck against the 15 life Phoenix board, right? So I'm kind of eyeballing top of round 3 as a, even if I don't have the board, I'm guessing by then I probably won't have the board, but at the very least, I can top of round 3 like Lightbringer into a Final Cry, Sympathy Pain type turn, win the game. So I usually like to go first when I'm on burn.
I
set that up and keep the tempo.
I understand.
And then you can also usually push some damage through in round 1.
Yeah.
What you have, and going first helps that as well.
Yeah. You're going to keep popping out. I think I understand what's going on. I just don't know how to fix it. It's like every time I have Chrome as a full screen thing, and not you right up there, it just doesn't want to stick you in the picture. So I don't know how to fix that.
And you still hear me though, right?
Yeah, we can still hear you as far as I know. It's just like the video feed decides, oh, you're not the active window, so let's cut it out. All right, so Lightbringer drops down, pretty classic opening, and then he responds with Metamorpher. That's what you expected. And I can get the discard.
And part of the reason I chose this open, right? Like Old Salt's good against Metamorpher, Light Swordsman's good against Metamorpher.
Yeah, well, actually, so I'm doing it. I'm in compact mode, which is how I normally do reviews of games, so I don't actually see your hand. I think if I could pull it up.
I mean, I can say it. Like,
yeah, I can pull it up.
My first 5 is Lightbringer, Salamander, Emperor Lion, Old Salt, and then Glory Aspirant to go grab a Light Swordsman.
Right. Yeah, I actually, I guess Dijon, I don't know if he just added this, but I can open just the hand window, which is kind of convenient. Okay. And let's pop through a couple turns. So you drop Salamander Book, he drops his Lightbringer, Glory into Light Swordsman, and then Lightbringer down. Now this is interesting to me. This is a point of the game where I am never really sure if it's right to like put the Lightbringer down early and just drag out, a free main action, or if it's worth trying to set up later in the round when you can expose their last offender. Like, do you think this is a mistake on Chaos Theory's part, or is this like what you would do? It's like non-committal.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like you said, it's kind of difficult. I mean, he knows I have Light Swordsman in my hand, right? So he could be baiting me to play the Light Swordsman and swing that at the Lightbringer, and he's just so that he doesn't have to deal with a surprise attack of 2 later in the round on something he cares more about. I will say that I've had lots of games where I tried to wait with Lightbringer to find a more opportune time to play it, and then you run into this weird situation where like that never happens, and then you get to the end of the round and you're just like playing a Lightbringer that doesn't do anything.
Yeah. I have had those too. And unfortunately,
like that feels the worst.
On your side, Lightbringer doesn't really do what you want it to do because he can drop a Metamorpher and then Lightbringer, and it just like he can choose to turn it into, was it the Scarab that has Quick Strike?
Now Scarab has stock.
Oh right. The other one is
unit. The other one is unit guard.
But right? It has 2 life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sun. Jesus, what are they called? Sun.
Yeah, Moon Moth. I think
Moon
is the other
Moth.
one.
Yeah, Sun Scarab Moon Moth.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you swing to
So first I
face.
put Glowfinch on the board, right? So I just
No, no, you
wanted to
swung to
get it
face
out there.
first.
Right, you're right. I did. Sorry, I'm skipping too quickly.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the swing to face was again. I'm a burn deck, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just swinging right. I figured if I swung at the face, he probably wouldn't block, and I was cool with not making the trade
Okay.
and getting a damage on the low life Fiona.
So if you were not a burn deck, would you go for the control play?
Well, I mean, depend. Like if I'm a control deck, then I probably do just trade off the 1/1s
Yeah. Yeah.
and or see if he wants to guard for some weird reason.
All right. So light brain, or sorry, Cerulean Diver. We knew that he had it because it was discarded first off his deck. Comes down and you drop Emperor Lion, which is very cool. And then he plays a
Yeah, I really like
Sandstorm
Emperor
Mage.
Line in burn decks. By the way, it's kind of a nice like stalwart unit to hold the board or to help you hold a battlefield, and it has overkill,
Yeah.
which kind of helps the burn plan. And it's
Yeah.
cool with Lightbringer too, because you can like rip these units to force them to, maybe attack into. It's hard. You can't really attack face, right? Because your Emperor Line doesn't exhaust since it's alert.
I
Nice
think
to have.
I think it's really nice just because you tend to extend, and so having an alert unit is really nice.
Right.
And now that the Lightbringer threat is down, you're not worried about the lion getting pulled out of position.
Yep.
So Sandstorm Mage comes down on his side, which is pretty good. Focus Metamorpher, focus Cerulean Diver, and you drop
Right.
a assault on him, put a ping.
Yeah, so now I know. I mean, he's got Focus Diver, right? So my Glowfinch is dead,
Mm-hmm.
and here I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna play Old Salt and ping the dive or ping the Sandstorm Sage, and this way, if he wants to wait a turn for whatever reason, doesn't want to kill my Glowfinch with his Diver, then I can threaten the Swordsman swing into the Sandstorm Sage on my turn.
Yeah, yeah. The interesting thing that you said light swordsman, so you wouldn't swing the old salt first?
Well, it depends, right? I just wanted to have the option to like force him to guard early.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just
With
meant
the
like the
swordsman.
difference is you're still putting 2 damage down, but then the light swordsman, when it swings, it'll at least get quick strike rather than like Fiona
Yeah, the
guarding the
Old
quick
Salt will
strike.
trade with the Sandstorm Sage, right? The
Yeah.
Light Swordsman doesn't.
All right. So let's see. You can put the diver down, meds, mind maze, and crystal armor, and then you're swinging.
Good night, kiddo. Luke came down to say good night. Unpaid intern number 2.
Unpaid
He's
intern.
here.
How's it going, bud?
Good night, kiddo.
Good night, Dad. We might get Dunkin' tomorrow.
Treatment asked how it's going.
Good.
Said good.
We might get Dunkin' tomorrow in the morning. You want anything?
I'm in for Duncan if I'm still here. Probably at work though.
What do you want?
I don't know. We'll see. If I'm here, we'll figure it out. All right. Good night, bud.
All right.
So his diver takes out the Finch.
Yeah, and then you're swinging, and he
Yeah.
he
So I
guards.
did opt to swing the Old Salt.
Yeah.
And I thought about playing the Swordsman, right? But I'm trying to remember why I didn't do it here. Why I didn't play the Swordsman and do it. I think I was trying to save the Swordsman to kill the Metamorpher later, and I was like, well, maybe he'll guard, and then I get to kill the Metamorpher or something else on the later turn, which he actually does end up guarding, I think.
He guarded. Yeah. Well, so the way I look at it is either he doesn't guard and you trade the old salt with the sandstorm mage, which is totally fine. And then you still have the threat of light swordsman for quick strike, which will pull guard on something.
Yep.
Or and if he does guard, which he did in this case, it takes either the sandstorm swinging out or it takes 2 of his other attackers to try and take down this old salt. So it's just more resources to try and eliminate it. And then you still have the quick strike, which can take out anything, which is pretty good.
And obviously, I'm happy to take the 2 damage on Fiona here, right? Like,
yeah.
it's just furthering my plan.
So though
and
now,
the other reason to swing there is I am trying to not go behind on dice either.
right? Yeah.
Playing a light swordsman puts me back on dice. Playing any of my guys is going to put me back on dice. Lightbringer is not very good there because he can just swing the diver and draw a card and do stuff.
So now he knows everything that you've got because he sees the 3 books. He knows that right. Takes all the dice plus the light swordsman. We still don't know what he has, especially because he just drew another card with the metamorpher. But Sonic is a pretty solid bet.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty certain I was going to see a Sonic Swordsman.
Yeah. All right, and then you drop the Swordsman and you take out the Sandstorm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So here, and so this was dumb, right? I specifically saved the Swordsman to kill the Metamorpher.
And you went for the Sandstorm instead.
But then I in my brain, like, Metamorpher didn't turn into a Scarab until the end of the round. That's totally not how it works. It's the end of the turn, so he's gonna, make a Sun Scarab right now, and I think kill my old Salt probably. But still killing out the Sandstorm Sage is fine. But I killing the Metamorpher is probably better.
Oh dear Lord, we have ourselves another player has entered the chat. Let me fix this up.
Oh, Shmenny here.
Shmenny is here.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good. You're looking so wisdomous and preppy.
Wisdomous?
Yeah.
Yep.
Feeling wisdomous and preppy.
We're just getting started. Round 1. Commentating on.
I figured I've gotten the game log or replay open.
Okay, good. Oh, did I not transition?
I have no idea how Metamorpher works. One of the cards I need to play, but haven't.
Is this?
Well, it does a lot of work in this game, so.
Oh man, this is so annoying. I'm just wondering if I can do something here. What happens if I shrink? This is probably going to be disastrous.
What did you get with Glory Aspirant? Oh, the Light Swordsman.
Got it. Yeah.
Never do something live, guys. Just don't do it. Don't mess with your setup live. That is, if you want to learn OBS.
You can just leave me off screen.
No. Everyone needs to see you. Everyone wants to see the Shmen.
We need to see the wisdomousness.
The wisdomousness.
The
yeah,
wisdomousness.
Exactly.
The preppy wisdomousness.
All right,
yeah.
There.
My wife is away, and I was putting my kids to bed before joining. Yeah. And so I was wearing the sweater in bed, and I said the boys could all sleep in my bed at night. We're in a different house because we're doing some work on our other house, or our real house. So we're renting a house. Anyway, they're uncomfortable right now. Anyway, so I'm wearing the sweater. It's an itchy sweater. And my son Adrian is like, your sweater's too itchy. Get out of bed. Like, go away. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go upstairs. I'll come back down soon. He's like, hey, Dada? I was like, yeah. He's like, don't bring the sweater. I was like, okay, I will not come to bed in a wool sweater. It's fine.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he doesn't appreciate the look. Or maybe he does like the look, but not the feel.
He doesn't understand the wisdomness.
No.
The importance of this. Well.
All right, so we are on 48 or.
Yeah, I think we're right around 48.
Yeah. Okay.
48 what?
You can see like how many actions, I guess.
That's like the number. Yeah.
Oh, 42. Oh, but I'm about to resolve it. Yeah, 43 finished, done. There.
Right.
And because I'm behind on the screen, I don't know. You know what? It's not looking the worst. Things have looked worse. There we go. I'll fix that up. Boom. Much better now. Guys, you gotta trust me with technology. I know what I'm doing. All right, so
We got you. You got us. You got us.
we're at the. Wait, what the hell happened? I'm way behind on the chat. The log. Did we just go? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, Sun Scarab now comes down.
He's gonna make a Sun Scarab and kill my old salt.
Yeah, you're just losing everything here. And the
Yeah,
divers
I'm-
and the Lightbringers are still
starting-
gonna.
Yeah, I'm starting to get behind on board, right? But again, I'm a burn deck, so I'm not. It's not the end of the world. I still have 3 books that I haven't used, so I'm not like panicking. But yeah, he's starting to take the board a little bit.
I think.
He's got a big information advantage too, in that.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess you probably know
Kind of.
roughly what he
I mean,
has.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's got a Sonic Swordsman. I know he's gonna use Fiona's ability,
Right.
refresh a book with the card he drew from the diver. Or well, no, I guess he still has 2 cards, huh?
Well, he
He's
just
gonna draw a card from the diver pretty soon.
he just drew a diver card. The other problem I think too is because you played the Finch early, like when he had the diver focus, that put you in a bad spot because you couldn't.
Yeah,
You
I didn't
couldn't guard
expect the
anything.
Sage, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I played that Finch before he played Sandstorm Sage, and then I was kind of screwed. There's nothing I could do to save it.
Yeah, yeah, it was
That's cute.
probably just a little too early anyway, in general, because there was nothing to guard or
Maybe.
commit to. All right, so then
That's
he Fiona's and does a second Metamorpher, which is another card drawn. Oh no, in this case it's not because the focus is gone, but it's
Correct.
another little pain in the ass caterpillar.
Yep.
And you try and swing at it, and you're gonna get it for free. Boom.
Right, yeah, the guard was down here, so as soon as he put it, that's why I played the Salamander as soon as he used, he refreshed the book, because I was like, okay, I can just, I mean, I don't really like using my defensive Salamander to take it out, but I didn't want a Lightbringer there, because he would just swing into me anyway, and so I just used the Salamander to kill the Metamorpher.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake on his part too. He was so worried about the old salt, but he should have swung the Lightbringer into the Salamander Monk, and either you guard it, and then everything else is going to be free for the taking, or he morphs the Scarab and kills the monk, right? But that just basically got him.
Well, the Salamander wasn't there. The Salamander wasn't there earlier when the first Sun Scarab came out.
No, but okay, so this, yeah. No, my point is though that this old salt is just sitting there. There's no reason to kill it now, knowing that you still have 3 books. I went all the way back to 44.
Yeah.
Like you still have a
I mean, that's true.
Lightbringer,
He
Sally,
could've
and Lion.
saved his Sun Scarab.
Yeah, there's just and potentially killing the Emperor Lion with 2 Scarabs might even end up being better value anyway. So I don't know. It just seems to me like that wasn't. You could also wait until you play the Lightbringer to force a swing and a morph. He had the other 2 units. I don't like that play. Anyway, so skipping forward, so Metamorpher comes out, dies right away, and then he swings the Lightbringer at your Glory Aspirant, which, like, now all of this is kind of...
Yeah, I actually thought about a guard for a little bit there, but I mean, if I'm expecting a Sonic Swordsman,
Yeah, you need your guard for the Swordsman.
Right, I can't really guard, so I had to give it up.
Yeah. Just letting... Okay, Allie. Yep, will do. I'm on baby duty. All right. Or toddler duty, I should say. Yeah, like, now, especially because now, ultimately, he swung the Diver and the Lightbringer to clean up the other units. I think if he'd done that before, he would be in even better position than he is now. And then you drop the Lion.
You used the wrong dice. Do you fix that?
Yeah, I do fix it.
Okay.
I was like thinking I had Salamander left instead of Lightbringer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix it in a second.
Yeah, you fix that and you drop Lightbringer, which now you have to guard the Sonic Swordman, which we did guess that's what it was.
Correct. Yeah. So this is funny, right? He swings it. He swings.
That's
at
a
the
weird
line.
choice. That's not
yeah.
a right choice. Yeah.
but I mean, so I look at that, right, and I'm thinking, well, I mean, the lion survives this.
Yeah.
So what's going on? And then I looked at it, I'm like,
Oh,
he's got a divine die and a card in hand. Like there has to be a fork lightning here, right? Like why wouldn't you
right.
swing at the Lightbringer to exhaust the lion? So I
Right.
do guard, and then he does have the fork light.
That's smart.
Um,
Good,
yeah.
good,
And now
good
I get to
reasoning.
use the lion to eat something. Yeah, now I get to use the lion to eat something and get an overkill damage, which
I
is
mean,
cool.
one way or another, you were guarding that Sonic attack. I think he probably tried a gambit that gave him the best chance of
Correct.
you
Yeah,
not guarding.
100%. I
But
right
like,
play all day.
yeah,
That's the right thing to do.
I probably would have fallen for that. I probably wouldn't have thought about fork lightning and got. So that was smart. Yeah, and then you get a
I
damage
almost
on the.
didn't guard. I was very close. I think I typed like in the chat, and
you
then
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then decided to guard it.
and then you clean up the scarab with the lion for free. Put another damage down. Boom, done. Round over. And now he's first.
He is
Right,
up
and
on
I mean
board.
he
He's up 2
yeah
dice,
he's way
right?
up on board. So it's this isn't great for me, but again I'm sitting here thinking like, I'm playing burn. I can burst a lot of damage through. He's up on board, but I'm up like what 5 life or something.
I think the crazy thing is you say you're playing burn, and at this point, if I'm your opponent and it's closed list, there is nothing about your deck that says burn deck to me.
Well,
Like maybe the colors
that's
a
part of
little bit,
why.
but yeah,
Yeah, that's part of why I opened the way I did. It's a little bit less telegraphed.
right,
Before you got on, I talked about potentially opening an anguish against Fiona just to, drop 4 damage, right?
right.
Um, but I mean that does kind of give it away a little bit.
And you would
Uh,
have been, I think, fatally behind had you spent 2 dice on a burn
Agreed.
spell in round 1.
Agreed.
yeah. The especially the metamorpher is really cool. It can like the flexibility is just so good. And now he's gonna get at least another card. Put a damage on the lion that can threaten next round to Sonic it for whatever, or not next round, a future
So
turn.
what was your like ideal? Did you what's like the perfect round 2 draw for you? Do you think?
I don't know.
Do you think about that? Or is there
It's
any
it's
card in
tough, right?
particular you're looking for?
Like, I mean, Meteor probably would have been very helpful, knowing that I was
Yeah.
probably going to go into round 2 behind on board to help
You
catch
don't.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I only have one in here.
You've got 2.
Um, I do have two. Okay, well, I don't draw one
Yeah.
here. But I'm probably looking for a couple burn spells and otherwise bodies or some other way to control the board. I
Like law.
chip a bunch of burn damage in as much as I can, and then try and set up an early round 3 death for Fiona through Sympathy Pain or Final Cry or Fire Archers or whatever.
I think I can
Have you clicked through to his actual hand? Treatment?
no, I'm in compact mode to hide the hand, but I could show the hand here.
Yeah.
There we go. It's Fester, Old
So
Salt, Light Swordsman, and
Fester,
Widows.
Old Salt. Yeah. A bunch of ceremonial
So
cards. So this isn't ideal because I only have 3 ceremonial dice.
right, you've got your short 1 ceremonial die. What? Yeah, talk us through like. So you see this hand. How far into the round are you planning? Like, how much of the shape of the round are you thinking through now that you've got your hand?
I mean, I'm not planning very far ahead, right? Like I'm first thinking, okay, I'm very behind on board. How am I
Right.
going to deal? Number one,
And
I have a Fester for the Swordsman, but I don't have a way to put a damage on it. I don't have a Fork Lightning or something.
right. You don't have the
And I
side
have
action.
Old Salt. That's kind of slow and yucky. I see like light swordsmen and widows to me
Right.
is like a potential like big tempo play where I could dump damage onto Fiona. So I'm kind of eyeing that up, and then Anguish being in my hand is it's really cool. It's Anguish is such a cool card. You look at it as a burn card and you think, okay, well, if I can wait until the end of the round and play it when he doesn't have cards or dice, I can just get 4 damage, and that seems awesome. But the problem with a burn deck is you're like, I'm already behind on board and on resources,
Yeah.
so like I'm probably not going to be able to out main action him.
Right.
And he's got 3 cheap books on the board, and I think the first thing he does in round 2 is focus the diver book. So that makes it worse. So that kind of play is not going to happen. So now I'm thinking instead, I want to play Anguish early in the round. Probably, especially after I see a focused diver book, I'm going to target down those green dice and force him to make force him to make a couple choices. One, do you want to give up your sympathy dice so that you don't get the diver value that you planned on getting when you lay this focused book down? And 2, I like playing Anguish early in a round where they have a bunch of cards in their hand, because your opponent is doing the same thing you are, right? They're looking at your hand and saying, okay, how am I going to sequence this round out using what I have in my hand and what's on the board? And when an Anguish hits you early, it forces a random discard, right? So you can lose the best card in your hand, and that's not what you really don't want to do that. So it makes a hard decision, and I feel like either outcome is typically good. If they either take the 2 damage, I'm fine with that, or if I can hit an important card in their hand, it can kind of turn the tide from. It's one of the ways, right, to catch up on a board when you're behind, is if you hit an important card in their hand that was going to keep them with the advantage.
That's an interesting.
I'm gonna drop this Anguish fairly early.
You drop it right away. That's an interesting approach that I guess that's not how I play Anguish, but I've never thought about it like playing it early to force a random discard that could potentially mess up their hand. I just think that the unfortunate thing is with Diver and the potential for Metamorpher to become focused, they can get a card to make up for those options.
Stuff, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, he does discard here.
Yeah, crystal
right?
armor.
And I think that's correct. Yeah, he loses crystal armor. I think that's a correct discard. I don't think there's any universe in which Fiona wants to take 4 damage from that Anguish, and she's not going to give up the 2. The other thing is, he did meditate up those 2 horses.
Yeah.
Before this, or at least one of them.
He meditated 1 and the time die as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least, Leo does, with Glowfinch and Anguish forcing discard, like, it puts pressure on your deck too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another cool thing about Anguish, is when you see them meditate dice up, like, targeting those dice is, again, it's kind of a win-win, right? They either exhaust the die that they wanted to use, or they have to remeditate. They have to get rid of it and then remeditate up their other colored dice of that to get back the power size they don't have anymore.
Yeah.
Leo likes both of those things.
Now, is there a world in which you decide to not play any units and just pass, and he either swings into the Emperor line until you kill it, and then you can drop another one, and like you're basically just trying to force it so that you don't have to guard the Sonic, or you're able to?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I'm trying to remember what happens, but I think I'm gonna pass a bunch.
Yeah.
Fairly soon.
All right, let's go. Let's see. I am surprised that he played the diver book first instead of swinging the diver into the thing just to get the card draw. But nevertheless, you got him with that Anguish, and he Oh no, sorry. You meditate away meteor, final cry, and fork lightning. And then he swings the diver. Yeah, okay. So I would have done it a slightly different order, but that's fine.
Yeah, so this is interesting, right? And I might misplay here. So he puts a damage on my lion and just lets me eat a diver
Mm-hmm.
with alert.
I don't think that's a mistake.
And well, so it's all about, why would he do that, right? Like, is he really just trying to draw a card? And because I'm not sure that's true. I'm like, why would you just sacrifice your 1/1 into my lion? You could. He's up on dice. He could just play a metamorpher or something instead. Like, he doesn't have to do that. And I think what's going to happen is he's going to attack and crescendo my lion before I get to use it for anything. So, like, had I foreseen that play, I could have swung the lion here into the Lightbringer and tried to get some value out of it before that happened.
So if I'm Chaos Theory, my thought is, okay, I now have focused divers, and if I swing at face, either you guard and it's the exact, or sorry, not guard, you block with the lion and same thing, and he's getting the card, or you don't, and then in all likelihood he doesn't have self clear, so now he can't summon 2 divers, which means he loses out on 2 more card draws and 2 more pings. I mean, technically you can summon, right. You can still pay for the ping, but yeah.
Yeah, it might have been wrong to counter. The right play might have been just suck up the 1 and let the diver stay exhausted. I don't know.
Yeah. That might be an interesting play. Then you're not taking damage. You're like, it's not like you worry about Leo. You have the dice for another Emperor Lion anyway. This also, swinging at the Lion means that now he can threaten to kill the Emperor Lion with the Sonic and exhaust something else that you put down. So I think it was a good play on his part. And now he's going to swing the Lightbringer at you.
Yeah, and I screw this up. Right, but anyway,
you played the Widows right away.
The Lightbringer, and he swings the Lightbringer, and I immediately like smell blood.
Yep, fork lightning.
Like, okay, now, he's gonna crescendo, and I'm gonna Well, I wasn't scared of fork lightning because he first 5/1 and he meditated another one. So like, there's already 2 in the discard pile. So I'm like, I thought I was pretty safe with Widows. Here. And I know, like, now, okay, I can play Lightbringer on my turn, pull the Sonic out of position, and then I have a Light Swordsman too, so I can swing for 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Potentially.
And you fester instead.
So
the crescendo.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have played the Widows, but definitely, the fester was nice to have.
Yeah, I mean, there's no I shouldn't have festered there. I should have just played Lightbringer and taken 7 damage to face. Like, I think that's probably a better answer.
7 damage to face.
But anyway,
how?
Get up to 7 from 4.
No, if I play Lightbringer there, right?
Yeah.
He now has to swing the Sonic Swordsman.
Yeah.
So he's out of blockers, right? So I guard it. And then I have 2 Widows on board and a Lightbringer to swing for 5. Plus, I can play Light Swordsman and swing on my turn for 7.
I thought you were getting swung at for 7.
Yeah, when you said I take 7, no, you mean you're swinging for 7.
No, yeah, I think I could have put Fiona to 2 life.
Yeah. No, I think you played the Widows 1 turn too early. You play Lightbringer and then you play the Widows for sure.
No, you don't.
Well, no, I think this was right. Like, I play Widows and then you play Lightbringer to pull
the fester was wrong,
attack.
right?
Oh, okay.
The fester was wrong. I botched this up more because now the other problem with Fester, right, is now he can just play a diver and kill one of my spiders.
Right.
Which he's gonna do, and I was like, oh gosh, like, it's so bad.
Yeah, I look at this board state and it seems very, very bad for you. Like, you're down 4 dice and you've got 2 units that you're gonna have to use like Lightbringer and Diver, or Diver gets rid of those. So like,
Yeah.
and one of them
Yeah.
before you can even use it.
But like,
so now once
okay.
he kills one of my spiders, like now I'm gonna do the Lightbringer thing because I have no other play, and I'm only gonna get 5 damage out of this rather than 7.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the? How was it
Oh,
7?
and
It
use
was
silence.
4 for the widows, 5 for Lightbringer.
And 2
Light
for
swordsman.
The light swordsman in my hand.
Oh, right, the light swordsman in your hand. Sorry, I closed the hand. Yeah. Yeah, that would have. But then I don't know. You're still facing down 8 dice.
Right.
I guess,
but
yeah.
I also have a horse die showing.
Yeah.
So like, what's he gonna do? Just attack into sympathy pain?
Yeah.
If I hold a card in my hand, he's gonna be scared to swing at me the rest of the round.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, interesting. You chose to guard there instead of the Finch. Okay. Yeah, take 1.
Yeah, I could have used Glowfinch here.
It's okay, so now you
But
swing
I
for
didn't.
5 and pop them. All right, and then you
Yeah, now I'm like, okay, I
Lightbringers.
know I'm way behind on dice, but I'm so far behind on board that I just need to like, this is where I need to just give up the battlefield and win with like I have to race with burn. I have no other alternative.
And you've got so much burn draw. I mean, you've got 5 burn cards.
I know there's
7
like,
burn
there's
cards in
still
your
3
last
sympathy pains in my
50.
deck.
Right.
I've got 3 sympathy pains. I've got 2 final cries. I've got anguish. I've got fire archers. Like there's all kinds of stuff in there.
My question is, you ended up playing the Finch, but that means that you end up not being able to play the Lion. And the Lion, at the very least, would have been 1 more overkill damage to face and a solid body that potentially sticks around. Whereas Finch is like,
maybe. I mean, I was
like, what does that do?
Well, I was looking at. I wanted Salamander on the board. Like, I figured I could play Finch and Salamander and get a similar value to Emperor Lion out of it.
Do you
I don't know
though?
what else he has, and actually, now I can't say that I foresaw this because I didn't. But had I played Emperor Lion there and been out of dice, he would mind maze it, and then I would have been screwed.
Yeah, that would have been brutal.
He's gonna mind maze something in a little bit, and I'm gonna be okay because I have a card and a die left. But I can't say I saw that coming.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I didn't think
It's
about
weird
that
because
either.
the mind maze, like, I mean, he doesn't know this, but the mind maze actually, that's a dead card and a dead die.
Yeah.
So literally does nothing.
Yeah.
You would have
I never
wasted
saw
both
it coming,
anyway.
right? I was thinking
Right.
I was against 3 Metamorpho books, right? I don't think he has Mind Maze. But he does have Mind Maze.
Yeah, so now he's just gonna clean up a bunch of stuff. He cleans up the light swordsman.
Yeah, and this is a good Lightbringer. This gets rid of my Glowfinch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm just not sure I would have played the Glowfinch. Like,
Yeah, I think that was probably wrong.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then another Metamorpher with Fiona's ability. Another Sun Scarab and another Sonic. This is rough. And he meditates up a Divine Die, which in theory can threaten. So now he's threatening 2, 4, 7, 8 damage. But at least he's not going top
you
of
don't
round.
have the bluff. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But see, I do have Salamander Monk, right? But Salamander Monk is such a cool, cheap, like, board holder.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
No,
this
it's
is
a
gonna
great
suck
card.
up either 2 attacks, or it's gonna suck up Sonic and the Sonic Pulse, right?
Yeah. In this case, it sucks up the Mind Maze, and then you're able to ditch it. I'm assuming, immediately. And
Yeah, I just immediately escape.
yeah, now he can clean up the Salamander Monk. Double exhaust the Sleeping Widow. I'm guessing. Oh no, he just wants damage.
Yeah, he actually takes these sun scarabs to face, and
I don't.
I think this is probably bad. Or well,
I
he takes one of them
And
to
one
face, I
one.
think, and he takes the widow with another one, which I probably would have took 2 units there, but I'm not sure how much it ends up mattering.
Well, I think
Yeah,
it
he kind
does
of needs
matter.
to yeah.
Double exhausting the widow, and then killing the Finch and the Lightbringer instead of going to face means that he has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's threatening, in theory, 10 damage unless you have a meteor at top of round. Right? Like, I don't
10
know.
out of
Yeah,
14 though.
10, it's not lethal, but I'm saying like he's at least threatening like the ability to play it out. I guess he's worried that he just loses to
yeah,
Sympathy
and
Pain
actually,
Final Cry.
this is gonna matter because leaving this Glowfinch alive in the next round is gonna cost him 2 cards as well.
Yeah, no,
He could
that's
explode
another.
them if
It was free.
avoided the mill.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of exhausting this Salamander's Monk Spirit. I don't see that as it's going away. It's fleeting. Does he
And I
take?
don't
Yeah,
think he actually
it would have
swings
saved
to.
Lisa's life. But
He does swing to face.
He
He
doesn't.
swings 3.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
That was the
Okay.
divine
yeah,
buff,
the
Right.
one scarab hit me for 3
and then Scarab takes out the
instead of
widow
taking out Glowfinch. And
Yeah, that's a
that ends up
mistake.
being a big deal.
for sure. And then we pass
The
into
other thing, could he have? I don't know. I'm wondering about the second Lightbringer rather than a second Diver to clear the Glowfinch. I don't know how the round would have played out differently, but I never like.
Yeah, he loses
I'd
2
rather
cards
have
doing
my.
that.
But I'm just saying I'd rather have both my. I'd rather have 2 divers out. I think the Lightbringer is so potentially impactful in this kind of game to get him lethal.
Yeah, I think that's fair as well.
But I don't know. I don't know that the dice worked out. I wasn't paying attention. So
I mean, it's worth acknowledging that
but-
he also has his own sympathy pains, and in theory, another Fork Lightning and or Crescendo. So I don't know. I think it reinforces that not taking
right.
out the
The 4
Glowfinch
is
and
meaningful.
going to face. You don't know that you're gonna roll a Power Side Lion for the extra point of damage, but to me, it seems like that last round was potentially where he gave up the winning path, or at least made it more, not give up.
Yeah.
He made it more difficult for
May-
himself.
Yeah, maybe, right? We're going to see what happens at the beginning of round 3 here, which
Law of
me going
fear.
first in round 3 saves me. This is where I steal this game.
Yeah.
Right. So he's up 6 dice on board. And
Yeah.
despite what you draw, I mean, despite all of the sympathy pain draw you have, they all stay in your deck, and you actually don't. Anguish isn't guaranteed damage, so you don't have lethal burn damage despite everything in your deck, which is wild.
Nope.
Yeah, that is.
So he's up 6
Law of
dice, and
Fear.
you don't have guaranteed lethal burn. But that's Law of Fear.
Law of Fear is so broken here. This is a ridiculous card in this situation.
This basically, yeah, this saves you. This saves you big time.
Oh yeah, it completely saves the game. He's got a board full of little guys. 3 of them are now don't even hit me anymore. And
Right.
so now he's got a clog problem.
He's got a clog problem,
Right.
and his draw pile is at 4, and there's a Finch, there's 2 free Finches, so he's putting himself at fatigue. Yeah, that's a bad turn. Oh, he's got a divine buff the Lightbringer.
That's a bummer, man.
That is a bummer. And he crescendos on top of that. Oh, that is unfortunate. Final Cry down to 2. Yeah, this is he has no lethal path.
But again, yeah, I mean these guys, he's only got 4 attack on board now, right? He can do 4 damage and summon one more thing.
Yeah. I mean, you don't
Right.
expect your opponent to have Law of Fear. It's not especially a one of, you know, when you already see their spell board is full.
Yeah, I actually after this game I was saying like I need more Law of Fear. Like I need 2 or 3 in here. Like and make
Well,
sure I have it when I
maybe,
need it.
or yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It basically just acts as another burn spell in a way, right? You know, it's you would have won either had you drawn a Sympathy Pain or the Law of Fear. So it's functionally just one more of the winning cards that you need. So I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know that you, yeah.
Killer Fred
I
says
mean, he's
your
got a
audio is
lot of
quiet.
damage if I don't play Law of Fear.
Oh yeah, if
My
without
audio's
Law of
quiet?
Fear, your audio apparently is quiet. Without Law of Fear, if he has a Sympathy Pain, or if he draws into a Sympathy Pain at any point with the divers or the Metamorpher, I guess it's not focused
I'll move
yet.
the mic closer. See if this is better. My volume's all the way up.
Actually, he could, in theory,
Yeah, that's
he could draw with Fiona. You know, that's always a gamble, but you could do it. Drawing into the Sympathy Pain, but he didn't get the damage down because of that Law of Fear. That saved the game for sure. Because now, like,
Yeah, there's no question about it.
he can't.
wouldn't
do
he
anything.
wouldn't but wouldn't Killer have won if he just drew a Sympathy Pain too? He can't do one
Maybe.
burst. He can't win without killing units for Final Cry, and he can't win with one burst of 11 damage. So
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I probably had other outs, right?
Yeah.
But
Killer had a
I
bunch of
think
outs for
Law
sure.
of Fear is just such a crippling card.
yeah,
But it is predicated on drawing both of those cards, and like, I guess there's a window. You could play Final Cry. He could still pop you for 10, and then
It's actually funny. I just clicked on my draw pile. My draw pile is 8 burn spells and meteor.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
3 sympathy pain, 3 fire archers, a final cry, an anguish, and a meteor is what's in my draw pile right now.
Yeah, that would have been, and I mean a meteor would have been golden there too, right? To clean up his whole board.
Yeah, I would have done something similar.
Yeah, that
Probably
is funny,
not as
though.
good as Law of Fear, honestly, because he could just refill his board with his dice. Law of Fear, I
Right.
think,
It gives
is
him
better here.
oh, definitely. It gives him the Lightbringers to
Right.
But I mean, okay, so even ignoring all that, anguish at this point, is it's not lethal. It's one away from lethal.
No, anguish is lethal, 100%. He can't.
he
only has
can't
2
choose
lives.
either one.
He can't take either side of anguish.
No. I meant, I know he can't take either side. I meant what happens is he doesn't take either side. He discards one card at random. That puts his hand at 2, and then he
And
only
I get
has
to
2
take all of his
draw.
sympathy dice.
Well, he takes 2 draw, and he's got 1 life left with fatigue damage going into next round.
Right.
And what that means too is knowing what your draw pile is, you can just discard until you see a fire archer, and meditate for it.
Anything.
Yeah, well, like, so anguish plus a fire archer is game here. All right, so diver now.
Yeah, so we just go through some motions a little bit here of putting down some units, and
Yeah, not to
draws
mention
a card with the diver.
this Finch is unfortunate, but he's out. Yeah, he's out of
Right.
he's out of cards and he's out of options.
Why did you exhaust the Sympathy instead of the Divine? Just out of curiosity.
By what? When I summon the Finch?
No, with the Anguish. Why'd you
You
pick the
selected-
Sympathy?
Yeah, right there.
I didn't want him to be able to use divers to clear his own board.
Oh, can you target your own stuff with divers? No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Yes.
Target unit
can't?
opponent
Oh.
controls.
I didn't even know that. Well, then I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old
The more
Salt
you
can
know.
self-clear,
Yeah.
but not divers. Yeah.
Uh,
And then that's it. That's GG. Oh, you played a paladin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
he did
that's
have a
why
paladin. Which would have the divine would have taken it. I could have taken that away.
I don't know what I would have picked. I wouldn't have picked time, obviously.
No.
Time's,
Yeah, we just
But-
mess around here for a little bit. We know the game's over from fatigue at this point.
right.
But,
Good game. Cool. Well
Yeah.
done. Nice. It
it
is.
was.
It is a sneaky burn deck.
I gotta say,
funny.
like,
Yeah, like you
it came
said.
down very
think we were-
close.
I'm glad we've
Yeah, I
revealed it
think we were
in
both
all of its
banging some rust off.
intricacies.
Yeah. I think we were both banging some rust off, and this is not a good matchup for Chaos Theory, right?
No, you don't want to be
Burn
a
against Fiona's
Fiona
just bad.
player against Burn.
You
sure.
should have
There's no
just
healing
stopped.
or anything else in there.
You don't want to be a Fiona player. Period.
Metamorpher is a
Everything's-
very fun call.
It is.
Hard.
It's so cool. It's
Yeah.
just her health is a problem.
It does work, man. Like I think it can do work. I think there's Fiona decks out there that can be strong. It's just difficult. But it's not like Nominee where there's not a lot of play or anything. I mean, Fiona has.
Yeah, I'd be
games, it's
interested.
hard to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Butterfly Mage.
if we yeah.
Some weird like stall deck.
Did you
would
say
be interesting.
butterfly mage?
Butterfly. What's the
Butterfly
Monk?
Yeah.
monk? Yeah, sorry.
That.
Showing the rust. Hey.
You knew what I meant.
Metamorpher and Double Down Therabray, yeah, is Shadows played that a bunch. He can spit out like 10 units in round 1. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, that was the other thing. I also thought Metamorphers were 2 life. So like.
Oh, so you just
like,
weren't
I saved-
attacking them?
No, like I could have saved an old salt for it round 1, and I just didn't do that because. I did use it on the Sandstorm Sage, which I think was a decent play.
They're
but I was just
caterpies. Look
thinking,
at them.
I
They're
could
not
do
going to be 2 life. Look at those little shrimperoonies.
They're a Pokemon. They're absolutely a Pokemon.
it. They are.
Yeah, Nick is famously a big Pokemon fan, so
And then Moonmoth is Butterfree.
we've got Charmanders,
Yeah.
like Amber Root Lizard.
We don't have any.
We don't really
electric.
have. Well, the Terra Herder,
That's
but
true.
it's not a.
It's
But
not
that's like a bird.
yeah.
It's like
Dino
Gilder,
bird.
like a Pikachu.
Gilder's kind of like a
Is
Pikachu, I
Gilder
guess.
a Pikachu? I don't know,
Zap.
is that- well, I mean, Isaac designed Gilder, but kind of like a Pikachu.
True.
Fred's saying reading the card lets you figure out what the heck it does.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
helpful when
thanks,
you read
Fred.
cards.
Thanks, Fred.
Wise ass.
I will say I am famously poor at reading cards. I'm really bad at it, and I just think they do things that they don't do. But like when I'm playing games in real life, I just confidently say, like, I'll play this and do this, and people just do it. Right? Even though I'm dead wrong. I did it in a Lorcana set championship 2 weeks ago.
This is why
I
Ashteki
played a
is
card
goat.
that said. Yeah, I played a card in Lorcana that said both players draw up to 3 cards, right? And my opponent had 5 cards in her hand, and I was like, I played it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna draw up to 3, and you're gonna discard 2, down to 3. And she's like, okay, and just discarded 2 cards. And then
Judge.
the next round, I was
Judge.
like, wait, I screwed. Yeah, I was like, wait, I screwed up, and the judge was sitting right there, and he let it go too. He's like, yep, it's good.
Oh.
The next round, I was like, wait, I screwed up. And it didn't affect the game, but I do that crap all the time. I'm terrible at reading cards.
Uh-oh. He's putting the gauntlets down. He's saying Casey the cheater, point and shame.
Whoa.
But here's what I
Wow.
say.
I get called that.
Here,
Oh, wow.
Here's what I say. Fred the conceder,
We called that all the
point
time.
and shame. Fred, reading the card helps you know what it does, but playing the game helps you have a chance at winning the game. Got to defend my boys.
Wow.
Dropping treatment 26. I'm back.
That's harsh words.
Treatment of the year, baby.
All right, I just want to ask you one question about my game against Dijon. Can I send you the replay,
Yes.
Steven?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
All right.
You tell me
Okay,
when.
now
Oh,
I
you sent it
have
in
to
the chat.
find it. Hold on.
Oh well, jeez.
No,
But
no,
everyone.
I have to, I got it. I know, I got it. Don't stand back. Old man's working. Okay.
And back.
Okay, we have the technology. All right, let's pop out of this.
First of all,
I'm gonna have to
thank
try
you to
to open this
Dijon.
on YouTube
This
and
was
play this again.
this was the feature that I asked for so many times when I saw Jinteki get it. This replay feature, I was like, we're gonna make so much amazing content with replays. We need replays. Blah, we need replay. Blah 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 blah. Dijon makes replays, and like, I don't. 2 years later, finally making a
It was.
podcast in which we look at replays.
Yeah, it was a long time, but honestly, so the thing that I think now has solidified it is being able, and I hope, well, I doubt this will change anything, but it definitely changed something for me, which was that I know a lot of the tournament games, like part of the hype is being able to stream them, and with young kids, like my
Right.
schedule is just not as flexible, not to mention we have international players in different time zones. So if I can stream, that's great. If I can't, having the ability to still do commentary on the games afterwards is just, I think, great. Like it helps, in theory, anybody now become a content creator, Ash's, commentator, because you just need yourself and the replay. You don't need to be there live. You don't need to worry about capturing anything live. It's just, hey, I got it. I can go. So I think that's really cool. We still never stuck to our
It is really cool.
Ash's problems thing, but so be it.
Okay, well, consider this an Ash's problem
All right.
then. Although it's a very straightforward one. It's
Oh,
kind
wait,
of
what happened?
it's kind of the whole game of Ash's.
I loaded the exact same game.
You have my game loaded up.
Yeah, what
again,
is going on here? Did I not download? I clicked. Now it's old man problems. All right.
I find it interesting that despite being able to schedule these replay commentaries, I've never been invited to co-commentate on a replay.
Oh, I just do them in
Interesting.
like, it's like kids are asleep or having a nap. It's like, all right, I'm gonna pop off a
I'm just
game.
kidding.
But I'd love to have someone else take the workload or be a co-host. So I'm not talking to myself like a crazy person.
I'll co-host with you.
Good. Let's do it. You know what?
All right, did you get my game? Did you get my game loaded?
I got your game loaded. You can do treatment versus Shadowfire for the collection. How about that? It's a 2-hour, 15-minute game, and I'll give you the replay, and you go for it.
We can speed through. I'll do it with you, Spendrix. We can speed. We'll get that
Okay.
sucker done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Blah blah
Okay,
blah.
sounds
Nothing
good.
happens. Treatment loses. The end. All right. What round? Where am I going? I'm just gonna
Let's go to
push
round
play.
one. I just want to know. Yeah, you don't have to push play,
Oh, I did.
but don't push play because I just want you to look at the hand.
Oh, okay.
So I've got a pretty standard, I guess, 4-book Lulu open here. I
Oh,
did think hard about whether to open Spearmaster into Jessa with Fear, but I decided to live dangerously. Because I knew that one thing that this deck does, actually, my deck is with Lightbringer Ember Root, but especially the Cinder Spirit Ember Root, and then her bolster is I can remove a lot of 1 health units, so Fear is not, my Fear protection is trying to remove the weenies, basically. So I'm looking to play Spearmaster towards the end of the round, hopefully after I've gotten either Fear off out of the way or avoided it. But so here's my question. Is there an order? What order would you play the books in? Like, how do you think about the order of putting the books down? Got a Cinder Spirit, Ember Root, Lightbringer, Seafoam Snapper.
So I wouldn't.
I tend to put. Go ahead.
So in this particular case, I wouldn't play Snapper probably until like my last card, and I would hold it depending on the matchup, but I would hold it as if it could be a Fate Reflection, because there's nothing that it's not like
Mm-hmm.
creepers or whatever where you need to eat up anything
Mm-hmm.
important. So I would hold that, and then Cinder Spirit, Ember Root would probably be my first two books, just because you get the main out of the way. You know
Mm-hmm.
you're going to take a shot or two. The concern is what
Mm-hmm.
happens if, like, if this was Brankus, and I think this is playing the player a little bit, I would be worried about widows with that many ceremonial. And so the question is like,
Mm.
is did you even first five aggressively enough to stop that? I don't know what's in your deck. Do you have a Fork Lightning, for instance?
I do have Fork Lightning. I've got 2.
Yeah. So like just looking
That would
at
have been
five
smart.
ceremonial, I would have probably had a Fork Lightning because I'd be worried about widows.
Yeah, see, I'm so rusty I didn't even think about widows. Because I'm still, I forgot that that's,
Still
wasn't it
chained in
chained
your
at one
world.
point? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Fritz says also like play Lightbringer early. It's another non-committal thing that you can pull things
Yeah,
out of
that's what I
position.
was gonna say earlier, treatment when I started talking is I typically like to get Lightbringer down quickly just to always have the option to use it if the situation arises.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird with
Yeah.
Cinder Spirit though, because Cinder Spirit's so slow that you want to get it out early too to give yourself the option to just do the main action and not put the Cinder Spirit on the board.
Well, like I guess you think,
Yep.
what is your ideal situation? You want to play Lightbringer and then play Cinder Spirit so that they have to swing. You probably eat a guard for your Cinder
Right.
Spirit, right? Or you play, you have Ember Root Lizard Den, then you play Cinder Spirit, so you're toking it up. But either way, yeah, I just think you're gonna end up playing 3 of your books before anything happens.
Yeah. So those are the main 2 options. I mean, so you can, I mean, you can just click through and see how it plays out. Like, but what I did was Seafoam Snapper came out last, and I usually like to play the Lightbringer book down, and I honestly just forgot that that's a thing I should do, and so I just start trying to get the Ember Root out. But I think Cinder Spirit, Ember Root versus Lightbringer, that is like the main choice, and I decided to go Ember Root, Cinder Spirit here. I don't think it was strictly right. Um, I do think Lightbringer is often the play because it's so it can mess up their sequencing. At least gives them something to think about. So
Yeah, so Lightbringer, like even if you don't plan on summoning it,
yeah,
it's the option to, but it forces your opponent to be like, oh shoot, I wanted to play a knight or something, but I don't want to get pulled out of position. I just don't know against
right,
Jessa starting a ritualist Chant of Revenge type of deal is really gonna swing that particular matchup, but it can in
right,
others.
yep,
How'd this
yep.
go for you?
It went well. Ended up winning, um, and I ended the first round up a lot. So Cinder Spirit does some work with a spark attached to it, and I get the Spearmaster down later. I face a choice. Let me skip ahead here. I can give
Not
you
a big
another
fan of
choice.
that Stormwind Sniper swing right there.
Yeah,
No,
I was
no.
just gonna comment on that. That Stormwind sniper swing is bad. I would have swung the Dreamlock Mage, um,
All
or
right, hang
just
on.
play
I
out
said
the
I would.
Whisper, but the Whisper
Okay.
dies right away.
I asked Dijon if we could use the replay, and I haven't heard from him because he's in UK time, and I said we wouldn't comment on his play. We could just talk about mine because I
Okay.
didn't get his
Okay,
permission.
that's fair.
Um,
Besides,
so
Dijon
the
can
other,
do
Your
no
attack with the
wrong.
Cinder Spirit is excellent to destroy the Stormwind Sniper.
thank you. Um, so okay, I leave myself in a position I mean, I sort of had to do it. I guess I sort of had this choice between like more damage and more damage in the form of rolling up my divine die to buff it versus eating the cinder spirit to put in a seafoam snapper. So it's at like 54. It's like the choice of what dice to use to pay for the spearmaster. And I decided to just optimize for clearing his board in this round, as there wouldn't have been no way for me to get rid of the Shimmerwing. Like that extra damage really just didn't do anything because Dijon's used his guard, so I can Spearmaster into the Dreamlock Mage, and we'll clear it. So I decided to eat. I'll use the Spark and then eat the Cinder Spirit. Curious what you guys think of that play.
So there's a few things, and Fritz actually mentioned something I was going to talk. Why ping the archer and not the ritualist here? Which I think is totally valid. If you ping the ritualist instead of the sniper, then you're still going to have the Lightbringer to pull the Dreamlock Mage out of position, which then allows you to drop a Spearmaster. I also wonder if it would have made sense, seeing what he has on board. I mean, it could have been a fear, you don't know that, but if you had guarded the Ember Root Lizard, that would have cleared up a lot too. Oh wait, it's concealed.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
didn't wa-
stock. Yeah, you could have taken 2 there
I
and then
didn't-
swung.
Yeah.
I didn't want to guard
I
too
think
early
there
in the
is-
round. I wanted to save the guard for the Spearmaster. So if depending on how the round was going to go. Sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no,
There's-
I
there's
understand that.
merit. There's merit to taking the sniper out since it's exhausted and it doesn't have its concealed ability right now. But I guess the
It
point
saves an
might be
attack
maybe-
against it.
No, you
Yeah,
have
maybe you
bolster though.
can-
You have the spark that you can main action ping.
That's
yeah,
true.
you can do it. So you can do it with something else later in the round, either through an attack or with spark or a spearmaster ping or something.
And actually,
Yeah.
on that point, and I'm trying not to comment on Dijon's play, but in this attack where you swing the Cinder Spirit and he guards the Dreamlock, I think I would have just traded. I would have traded the
Yeah.
Dreamlock Mage for the Cinder Spirit and the Spark, because that's effectively 3 dice, and you're not worrying
Right.
about the Spark then eating up something else.
Yeah, it would have made the round go pretty differently had I had that. Well, I don't know that the round would have gone differently. It might have. All it really saves, honestly, is just the token on Seafoam Snapper.
Right. Well, okay,
So
so
the Snapper's going to end up eating the.
so to that end, also knowing that he now can't play Whisper because he doesn't have the dice for it, I also think
Right.
that this was a potential situation where you swing the Cinder Spirit at the Ritualist, or the Sniper. You swing down so that it's going to stick around, and you know that the only way he can try and kill it is with the Dreamlock Mage. And then you still have all your dice available. You still have the Spark available. And he's got to put more work, and you clear up 2 things for free. I guess Dijon is bluffing Blood Archer is the only thing that you might have to worry about. But swinging at the Stormwind, it could have been an alternative line of play there.
Yeah, where is he? Yeah, he does have Blood Archer dice showing at that moment.
Yeah.
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 Anywho,
So there's
it all works out, so it's fine.
Yeah, but this is actually one of those rounds where there are so many interesting play lines. Like, even before you bolster swing, you could have played the Lightbringer here.
It's true. I could have played the Lightbringer and forced one of the 2 things in.
You force, so if he swings the Ritualist, then you trade, and who cares?
Right, with the Lightbringer.
And then you still have the ability to token up Cinder if you want. But
If he swings Dreamlock, I guard.
Yeah, then you guard, and then you are laughing.
Right. Yep.
Because then the
Yeah, I
Dreamlock's
was
dead. The
probably too
Cinder Spirit
aggressive
kills the Dreamlock Mage and
to spark and
Ritualist in
swing.
one go, and you're not gonna die, or you're not gonna.
You know
have
what the
Cinder
problem is,
Spirit
though,
die.
Treatment? Is because you have taken the Dreamlock Mage pictures, your favicon, I just see it and need to murder whatever it is that immediately. I can't let that thing be on the table.
That's fair. Uh, it's
Yeah.
also the privilege of rewinding and going forward, and rewinding and going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The ability to side action. This is Fritz's comment. Side action, spark, main ping the Ritualist is another option, because ultimately all you care about is giving the token to the Cinder Spirit, which is enough to kill
Right.
any unit.
Not the forward attack. Yep. Agreed. That's a really good point too. That's actually that's a really good point.
I see
It
that
makes
play
me
get
like this deck
made a
even
lot.
better.
I see that play get made a lot, like with Lulu, where you just spend your main and side action on Spark. It always feels so bad to me. Like I feel like missing out on that +1 attack by doing that just like I feel like you just lose value. But I do think, especially
Well, here
in
the
this
+1 attack is
instance
really
where
is just to face. Yeah.
The +1 attack is to face, but
yeah,
in
I
this
do
particular
think
case, then you Lightbringer on a subsequent turn. You're pulling either. So like
Right.
if you ping away the Ritualist, all he has is a Dreamlock and potentially a Blood Archer. He drops one of those. The Lightbringer is going to pull either of those out of position, and then your Cinder Spirit is still a 3 attack with a ping that can clear anything up, and you're still going to have the Spearmaster available
Right.
after that.
Yep.
By the way, Shmeny, Mistreatment wants you to move to Canada, so get over here already.
I know. Taken under advisement. Mistreatment needs to talk to Miss Schmendrix and convince her. All right.
Any other play lines that were of interest? Let's just see how this plays
let me
out.
skip ahead here.
You Spearmaster. He Dreamlock Mages. You just take the 2 damage, which makes a lot of sense. And then pick one and kill off the Dreamlock. Oh, you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Oh, why'd you go to face?
Because I knew I could clean it up with this. This was the question I was asking you. This was the one I was saying where I had the choice of I could have saved the Cinder Spirit.
Oh, you're gonna play the Seafoam Snapper to.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the Snapper. Yeah.
I wonder if there's a world where you like.
I actually
just use the time power to put a token on the Cinder Spirit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that
instead of playing a Snapper.
I was gonna say the same thing. You swing the the Spearmaster to kill the Dreamlock Mage, and then you just power token the Cinder Spirit. And what's funny is if you
I don't even need to do that. I could have just used both tokens from the Spearmaster.
No,
she doesn't need 3 tokens. 2 tokens is fine.
You can't do that. It's deal 1 damage to an equal number of units. This is the same problem I run into. It's not paying 1 unit a bunch of times.
No, I know, but I'm just saying if I wanted to ping 2 units, I could have removed both status tokens from Spearmaster. I didn't need to remove the status token from Cinder Spirit. I just decided to do it because I'd already decided that the Cinder Spirit was dying to Seafoam Snapper.
Oh, okay, yeah. I get you. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I understand that. I just think that it would have been nice to keep both the Cinder Spirit and the Spearmaster there.
Agreed.
No, Fritz.
And I didn't need to do it to clear.
We were talking about you could take both those tokens. It was just about I misunderstood. I thought he meant ping twice with the. Anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, that worked out for you, but I think it would be really interesting if we could like.
Could it have been better?
Yeah, could it have been better? Could it have been a complete stomping. Oh, he did have Blood Archer ultimately in his deck, so drops that down.
He did have Blood Archer.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the this is an error I think I made, and I'd be curious, but I think, and it's fairly obvious, so I don't really know what I was thinking. Just blame it again on Rust. But he plays Blood Archer. He pings away the status token on Seafoam Snapper. I decide to swing with Seafoam Snapper into Blood Archer for
Instead
value.
of Lightbringer.
But I think, right, I could have just Lightbringered. I would have lost the Seafoam Snapper to Blood Archer. He would have pinged it and swung, and I would have had to guard for
Yeah,
3, probably.
Yeah, I kind of
Or
like
I just
swinging the snapper. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I am sensitive to the fact that I am very likely in a race. So I was looking for more ways to accumulate burn damage.
I mean, the situation that you're in now is effectively the same because you swung, he guarded, so his guard is down, and now he still has to be like, okay, well, am I forcing guard and then taking 3 back to face, right? Like he can bloodshot your snapper and then swing again, or it just gives you an opportunity now to snapper your snapper, and then he's still in the same position of like, well, I can't do anything.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, I end up winning. He doesn't have, luckily, any of the removal he really needs to deal with the threats I have, and ends up being okay from there on out. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
I
like my deck. So.
Oh, I love this. This
all.
board is really good. This board is very, very cool. And now that I see foragers, I want to see what's in your deck.
Oh yeah, hunting weapons and Ocean's Gift and Will to Survive are the 3. I'm just generally happy to get any of them. Like the bestow on Ocean's Gift is often very good for me.
Yeah.
I decide to actually get hunting weapons and use it here at the end of the round.
I think that's very cool.
So.
Very, very cool. Yeah,
so back into Ashes.
Back into Ashes is good. Fritz also asked whether you should, like, after you swung, should you have frog pinged the Blood Archer to neutralize it?
It saves your snapper.
Well, it saves snapper
That's
or
a good point.
Basically, just it neutralizes it, which would be really interesting.
Yeah,
that's a good point. And Fritz is really good at this game. I should be talking to him more. Yeah. Why do I waste my time with you guys?
I don't know, man.
We started as a jank channel. We're not here for anyone to take us seriously. And as far as I know, none of us have won anything. So
dude, I've played like 6 games of Ashes since August or something.
All I know what I'm doing is I beat Fritz once with my anti-Brankers Fritz Leo deck, and so that's all I need. It works. Leo is king.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to say, I think I was mentioning this to you guys in chat, but like playing this Lulu deck with Stamina Burst, playing 4 books, you often are kind of growing into the first round, so you can take some damage at the beginning of the round, and you're catching up through the round, but just the amount of little incidental ping the deck can produce does give you quite a lot of, like, when you are kind of playing behind with a lot of your opponent's threats on the board, it gives you a lot of options for how to deal with things. And then in that context, Stamina Burst is just so good because as you gain control of the board in the back half of round 1, hopefully, or either get even or get up a little bit, then to just be able to pile on the pressure later with Stamina Burst to take it back in your direction it's fun. I had not really played much Stamina Burst, and it's a very fun card, especially when you do have a deck that has kind of this action compression on swing kind of removal with Ember Root and Cinder Spirit. Just it puts and Lightbringer, it puts so much pressure on your opponent to be able to maintain threats through the end of round
Yeah.
where they get hosed.
There's so many things you could do here. There's different play lines. First mentioned one, like what happens if here instead of swinging Snapper, you frog ping and then swing Spearmaster, right?
Oh, that's a really good one. I like that one.
You could also frog
That's
ping
smart.
and play. You could frog ping and play Lightbringer, so he still can't do anything, and then he's facing a counter swing of 6.
That's a really good
If
one.
if your concern was racing, there's a lot of things you could
You
do
gotta
here.
frog up.
Yeah.
See how good frog pings are?
Yeah. Yeah, 2 frogs up. But then you gotta remember to eat your frog or frog your frog out. Use the frog. Honestly, I was. It is interesting. These are all very good plays and would have been better than. I mean, I think what I did is a fairly straightforward, and being up 4 dice at the top of the round, I had some space to make mistakes and not fall too far behind. But I was very focused on like using the assets I had and keeping my dice advantage. I may have over indexed on watching like Brian B play in those in the collection like a couple years ago when I was doing all the analysis on those games and just seeing how often Carl or Brian B or others who were winning were like just squirreling away their dice and like finding all these main actions and ways of you know extending the round, staying even on board without committing dice. So
Just being so super
I,
patient.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, I like the snapper play. It's just interesting that this very particular situation, I could see 4 or 5 different ways of playing it, and it would be really interesting
right.
to hear from like the community. As the Lulu player, what do you do? Do you frog ping, swing the Spearmaster? Do you frog ping, swing the Snapper? Do you frog ping and Lightbringer? Do you just swing the Snapper and then make a decision on your side action? Like there's just a lot of interesting lines of play here.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be interested. Cool.
All right. Well, we did it, guys. I
Okay,
don't know
that was
what we
fun.
did, but we did something.
We did
I
something.
mean, we talked Ashes.
We did talk Ashes.
We did.
We didn't help anybody.
And
We
look,
didn't
if we
help new
play more
players.
like
We didn't help.
Phoenix League games, we can do this stuff more often.
That's true. That's true. I decided I would sign up at least temporarily. See how it goes
For the Phoenix League.
for the Phoenix League, and I'm already part of the team tournament. But
Those
that,
alt arts are so sweet.
yes,
They
yes.
are cool.
Did you guys? I don't. Did you get a third? Because we should mention that actually. Team tournament is on. There are only 3 teams apparently that have signed up. We need more people. This is one of the most fun tournaments. It's all from one collection.
It is
So
the
it's a
best
deck
tournament.
building challenge. Not to mention, Jankfest is this Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I guess that makes it 8 p.m. Central. And submit your decks by tomorrow night. Tomorrow's the cutoff. Send them to Charlotte. And then Carl and I are currently in the scheduling phase to figure out what works for myself, him, and Fritz for the finals of the collection. So yeah, lots going on
Nice.
at the start of the year. A good start.
Yeah. Yeah, Schmendrix and I do not have a third player, although we saw Carl, Brian, and Fred sign up, and then we just stopped like trying.
Yeah, I can't imagine why there might have only been 3 teams that signed up when Carl Bryant Fred came out swinging.
I'm hoping that we see
but
some old players come back because the last stream I did, Clue jumped in, Waves jumped in.
What?
Yeah, it was really cool to see some of the guys that we've been missing from the community for like over a year come back. So this could be it, guys. This is it. We got to do it.
I think in all seriousness, I probably don't have time anyway this time of year to play a tournament. So Schmendrick should probably go without me and join up with Matt and Charlotte and help them defend their title.
Or Brankus, and I still don't know if it's
Jolene
Jolene or Jolien. If it's, I'm assuming it's French, so it's probably Jolien. But there's also, I don't know if Flora is signing up, but she, I think, submitted for Jankfest, which would be cool. So we could get Flora back into the game. There's a lot of people.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Not to mention, we're talking about the old players. There's so many new players. If you're intimidated, it should be known
so many new players
that the current. Let's not be too spicy. We'll say that one of the top 3 players in the game right now started in a team tournament. Fred, he came in. He started with Carl and Brian. This is his re-showing, but now he's one of the top 3 players. So this could be you. Jump in as a rookie.
Was that really his first tournament?
Yeah, jump in as a rookie.
Yeah,
get your legs under you with the help of some veterans, and off to the races. This is just for fun.
It is a great tournament. And, I do hope the kind of content we did, I would be curious for new players, especially if any new players. God, this question, no one's going to answer this question. It's like almost 2 hours into the podcast. But I would be curious just to know if new players who are playing a lot of solo find this kind of like breakdown of what kind of the competitive, what the kind of competitive thinking process play lines are. That's interesting to folks who play a lot of solo and are thinking about getting into it. I really do think there's quite a lot of similarities. A lot you can. I think the best thing about solo Ashes is that it teaches you a lot of good practices that carry over into competitive. So,
well, listen, I
would love to convert some folks.
I don't really play solo, but the solo, I am a Patreon member, so I have access to all the expansions. So if there's someone out there who has a situation, like a scenario, a board state that they're like, hey, how would other players, veterans of the game, play this board state? We can just set it up. Or I think the replay functionality also works for solo games. Like, send me the file and we could do commentary on that. We don't have to do just, PvP commentary. Send a solo commentary. I think that would be kind of neat too. And it would expose. I'm not probably going to do it just on my own, but I would definitely do it with you guys or whatever, because like I said, I don't have the experience of playing against the Chimera all that much.
Cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right,
guys.
I forgot our litany. What was the be positive?
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Be
Frog
positive.
up.
Owl away, right?
Frog up, wolf down.
Oh,
we never. I don't know if we agreed on what owl was, so I've just stuck to hoot and toot.
Hoot and toot.
Hoot and toot. That's how I've been signing off. Owl away is probably, I think, what we thought it might be, but yeah. Be positive.
Yeah.
If you're not janky, you're stanky.
Be positive, owl away. Frog up, wolf down. All the things. Turtle power.
All the things. Don't eat your dice.
Stanky. Time for bed. Don't eat your dice.
See you guys
later
this weekend. Ciao.
All right, guys. Take care.